I think this is going to be a pretty close match. AWP is really good at the game. Does have a bit of an issue with his computer lagging a bit. Clyde is pretty good as well. I don't. Oh, they have random starting location, right? Okay, so they have random starting location with 1 to 3 random starting items. It seems they're starting with Dark Visor, power bombs, main power bombs. No energy tanks in Dark Sanctuary Fortress. This is going to be rough. Clyde is on his way to a dead end. AWP is on his way back to the save station after death at the beginning of the game. That's not too big a loss. Actually, he's still in the lead because Clyde is going backwards. It's kind of tricky to know where to go when you're starting in a different area entirely. I see. Yeah, they are starting with space jump boots, so they're going to have to climb up to Culling Chamber, where they'll have access to a portal to get into the light world to safety. Currently, the Hazing Cliff is not in logic without either Dark Suit or another 2 energy tanks. Although, actually, if it is Dark Suit, well, if it is Dark Suit, they would need 1 energy tank. Because the logic actually calculates their ability to go to the item and also back. So that's where the 225 counts in. As opposed to the 117 and a half of the normal. This is a real rough start. So this is trivial logic. Random starting location is sometimes pretty gross. I think this is the worst starting location of the tournament, I think. So they agreed to start in a random location. I don't know if they're able to agree to roll another seed or not, but this is real rough. This is an exciting start to a match for sure. The nice thing about this though is once they get through this, they'll probably have a much easier time. They'll most likely find some kind of protection pretty early on, if not a bunch of major items. We see AWP is just opting to kill all the warrior ing along the way, just to make it safer to get up. That jump is really tight. In order to make that jump, you actually have to be very patient. It looked like he was trying to damage himself down so he can get an energy refill. Unfortunately, you have to damage yourself down below 21 energy. You need 20% or less energy in order to get a full health drop. So the normal way is still accessible. He could go counterclockwise around the room, jumping up from platform to platform. It's just he's got to do it quickly. That's all there is to it. As for safe zones, I think there's a safe zone in... I hope there's a safe zone at the top of this room, but I think there's one at the beginning of the next room. So here he goes. He's making decent work. Going through. He's about halfway down on energy. He's more than halfway up. He's got a safe zone right there if he could get to it. Oh, not this time. Dude, I did not expect to be thrown into something this intense right off the bat. Wow. This is Frankly, this is pretty uncommon. I've started here on higher difficulty settings with like a potential for, well, I think it was 3 starting items as well. I think I had a potential for 5 items, but it only gives you, if you select a range of items, it'll give you the minimum amount allowed. In this case, they absolutely need Dark Visor, Power Bombs, and Space Jump in order to get their next progression. So the Power Bombs indicate to me that their progression is going to be through the elevator. So they have opted to have elevators randomized. Alright, making good use of those power bombs. Now that he's out of power bombs, he can get a free power bomb drop from one of these ink caches. One of them. It's a 80% chance whenever you're out of power bombs. The drop system in Echoes is pretty nice in that regard. But sometimes in terms of item placement and starting location, it's not so nice, as you can see. This sure is a seed. Okay, AWP is safe enough to refill his health. Okay, he can get that full health refill right there, right next to him. That's very nice to have. And he's got Unseen Way coming up here. Okay, yeah. There's an invisible platform here. Interesting. I thought that was on I thought that was on easy mode. No. I thought it was on trivial mode that you didn't need Dark Visor to see this, but this makes sense that they got Dark Visor to be able to see and get onto this platform. Some rooms are required to have Dark Visor in order to be able to see things logically. Okay, he's just gotta make his way through with these warrior ink spawning, like dropping from the ceiling and going into puddles. You do move faster when you're morphed as a ball. Unfortunately, the liquid form of the warrior ink will kind of track you and stop you in place if you're in morph form. So he's wisely unmorphing before he gets to him and just standing in a safe zone. Okay, I think he's reasonably safe here. Yeah, he's getting to his he's getting to that energy, he's getting to that safe zone, he's getting to that portal. Just fine. In a few seconds, once he works up the courage and health. And Clyde is in about... Clyde has caught up here. You want to just ignore the ing, run into the safe zone, scan the portal. They are dead even after all those deaths and the wrong turns. They made it. They made it out of the frying pan. AWP definitely wants to get... he wants to get some health back here. Because they are in the light world now. However, they are dealing with quads. Okay, Dark Aegon key right here. He's not going to worry about that for now. There is a way to get that with just space jump with an instant morph. It is not recommended. You just want to go straight for the elevator. Find your progression. Just get out of here right now. Don't worry about the power bomb drop. Just leave it. Get through the door. No bombs to open it. Okay, the door closes behind you. Clyde is safe. AWP is squeezing between the quad and the opening. He is safe as well. Jiminy Jillikers. And Clyde, down to 8 health, manages to secure that ultra energy. Once again, Echo's drops is very kind to you when you're low on things. The being out of power bombs tends to give an 80% chance of power bomb drops. Being 20% or lower on health gives an 80% chance of ultra energy. And I think it's kind when you're low-ish on energy and tends to give you blue health drops as well that give you 50 energy. So we force the game to be somewhat kind, but it tries its best not to be. Using power bombs wisely to open that bomb tunnel, bomb block. Getting Amber Translator right away. This is pretty nice. Somewhat surprised he's not going back to check the hint immediately. We'll see if Clyde does so. He will be able to get Sand Cash here with the Amber Translator to open the door. So the gates are vanilla actual, so all the gates that are normally Amber Translator are Amber Translator. Well, the one gate, I guess. No, there are 2 gates. 3 gates, actually. And all of the Temple Ground gates are violet. Even though in vanilla it shows different colors, all of the Temple Ground gates actually are violet Translator locked. There's another setting in the Randovania program. Ooh, Spider Ball. Very nice. It lets him get Mining Station A right now. I didn't quite see what it was. We'll see if AWP wants it right now. Getting the hint first. Aegon Key 3 is in Dark Aegon Waste. Okay. What was the item in Cooling Chamber? Don't know, don't care right now. But yeah, that is a good point. Cooling Chamber... Gosh, I hope it's not available right now. If it is, he's at least got other things available. Cooling Chamber is not supposed to be in Logic right now. However, there is an issue in Randomania where if you were expected to take less than 99 damage to get through the room and back, then it just wasn't given a damage value. So now that we have less strict requirements, we have the medium damage strictness, meaning that all sources of Dark World damage that you're forced to take to progress will be multiplied by 1.5. So that's why Hazing Cliff now requires 2 energy tanks instead of just 1. But with the other bug, with requirements of less than 99 not being listed at all, that's not multiplied because it's listed as basically 0. So hopefully that's been updated in 1.1. I don't know for sure for Cooling Chamber. Clyde might be having connection issues. See if we could get that up shortly. So he's on his way now to Aegon Temple. Chat mentioning that there was a hint for bombs in this vanilla location. If that's not the case, if they're lying to me for some reason, why would they ever lie to me? I don't think they would. Even if that's not the case and there are no bombs here, he does still have power bombs. He is still able to get out. And Okay. Clyde is back, and it seems he has found bombs. Probably vanilla. And he gets an Inghive key in the energy controller. And another hint, more importantly, boost ball in bioenergy production. That's pretty cool. That, once they get super missiles, we'll open up storage C right away. That's pretty nice. It's also nice having boost ball right before sand processing, because that's a half pipe room that just has an item available. Yep, vanilla bombs. So no beams is unable to check mining shaft or ventilation area A. The first one being dark beam locked and the other being light beam locked. So he's gonna have to explore a bit more. Most likely on the power base. Well, okay, Clyde's getting the item up here. Oh, okay. There we go. The seed is... The seed was like, just kidding. Here's your dark suit. We all had a good laugh. That was a very interesting start. AWP, please look up. Okay, he doesn't necessarily need dark suit right away. But AWP, you gotta go back to mining station A, bro. So that for sure puts cooling chamber in logic. I'm not sure what's in there. But it's certainly not a bad idea to go back if you saw something there earlier. I'm sure they got a glimpse of it. I'm sure they could have seen what it was. But I sure as heck was not worried about what the item was at all. I was tunnel visioned in on that item cache and the safe zone on the other side of the room from the item. So chat said grapple. Okay. Grapple isn't the most important thing in the world. They may opt to just skip it entirely. So AWP is playing on Dolphin. I'm not sure about Clyde. It can be played on a Wii with Nintendo, or I think there's another emulator for the Wii as well that works. You basically want to have either a really good computer or a functioning Wii to play this. AWP has a computer, so he's using that to play. Yeah, I don't think my computer would be very good for this personally. Okay, so yeah, that's right. They had to go through the tunnel with no dark beam, so they have to scan this. I usually try to skip this if I can, but you wouldn't be able to in this run. Well, depending on what's in Upper Sanctuary. They do still have the ability, with that spider ball in hand, to go into Upper Sanctuary and look around. Well, I guess logically you can't really do much in there. You can get to Sanctuary Temple access. You can, with the bombs, you can kill the quad in there. And you could move on to, well, if Grapple was indeed in Pulling Chamber, as chat claims. Which way would they lie, once again? Then they would have access to the Sanctuary Energy Controller. Getting back is another story, however. They would need Seekers in conjunction with their Dark Visor in order to get out, logically. Annihilator would work as well to go through the other door. Actually, no, that's not true, because there's no grapple point there. Let's see. They would need Boost Ball for Spider Guardian. Yeah, they would just need Seekers to be able to escape Energy Controller. So that's a possibility. But for now, they're just going to go ahead and get their Boost Ball that they know is in bioenergy production. Clyde cutting it a little close. So these players... Boy, they are... I'm sure they're feeling awful, but at the same time, they're pretty much neck and neck. With the exception of AWP for gaining Mining Station A. He'll pass through the room multiple times throughout the rest of the run. At the very least, once before passing by an accessible Dark World portal. Even if they find Dark Beam, they would still need either Light Beam or Annihilator to be able to leave the Dark World. So that's not something he's going to want to do. I'm hoping he gets bottlenecked and thinks, what do I have left? Oh wait, Mining Station A. That's the biggest thing that can happen to him. In the meantime, he's going to have 2 items available after getting Boost Ball. The Sand Processing and the Storage D. I was going to say Cache D. Storage D right after Dark Simus 1. Boost Ball acquired. And Clyde not too far behind. Oh, actually he's ahead. They both got Spider Ball, right? AWP opting to only lower that, only lower 2 of those columns. You can make it with a regular old space jump onto the little hole in the corner of the ledge. It's just chipped out, so you don't need to finish the puzzle. You don't need to wait for the cutscene to be able to skip the cutscene and then wait for the fade out. You could just go right ahead and go to the end of the room. Right. Okay, we'll find out shortly if he has Spider Ball or not. I would assume he does. He used it to get a suit. That's right. Okay. That's right. No! No, Clyde! This is bad. I wasn't even worried. I was looking at AWP and I saw, like, suddenly Clyde's screen just, like, collapsed into the center. And continue from last save popped up. He must have died in the Morphball tunnel from the lasers. This is real rough. He was right next to a save station, dude. You just need to get a little further. That hurts. Those lasers, I believe, do, is it 2 damage per frame that they're hitting you? That sounds about right. They shove you pretty far away, like pretty quickly, so they usually don't damage you for more than like half a second. And he's opting to take the death just to get his health back. And get his power bombs back, for that matter. Okay, Op is going to have to reset. There is a trick to bomb space jump out of Dark Samus's room, but AWP isn't particularly fond of bomb space jumps. They're pretty. I mean, if you don't get used to them, then you can't really learn them very easily, and especially on emulator when there's random lag just based on your computer's performance, it can be a hassle to get bomb space jumps done. And the bomb space jump in question isn't the most straightforward one either. Okay. Clyde getting through unseen way. That's a pretty funny room. It's pretty annoying, actually. It has the terminal fall plane like right underneath the moving platform. So you could jump onto the platform and then the screen fades to white and you go back to the previous ledge just because you dipped slightly below the platform. It's real obnoxious. Okay, wisely, Clyde opts to take a little bit of Dark World damage. It took a little more than necessary, but that allowed him to raise the chances for an Ultra Energy drop. Okay. Clyde is just about back in business. Still has to deal with this quad. Okay, he's through. At this point, I'm fully expecting him to take a safety save right now. This is the nearest point you'll be to a save station until Dark Samus 1 area. Like, I absolutely would have passed up on the save station as well the first time through. But if I took a death that costly, absolutely go for safety next. And he's doubling down. He's saying, you know what? I should not have died there. I'm not going to die again. And kudos to him for the confidence. You know, the entrance, well, the starting location randomizers we've had in the tournament so far have been pretty tame. This is, I think this is the example that people needed to really learn their lesson, I guess. It's such a shame to see it happen to these players. Like, it should have been DCR versus Kirby, you know? They could have handled it, no problem. They deserve it. But yeah, these runners have been playing for a good while. They're used to low energy runs. AWP especially has partaken in a lot of weekly races. We have weeklies every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And in the past, before there was damage strictness for Dark World, when Culling Chamber only required having 150 energy to be able to get through, there were a lot of seeds where you would only get one energy tank and the game would say, you know what? That's enough energy. Go get your required progression in Hazencliff and come back. Get your super missile or spider ball or whatever it was. Then you can go and get more energy tanks if you really want, but you shouldn't need more than one. Now that we've told the game, yes, we need more than one. It's been a lot easier. And the runners have been stronger, have become stronger for it. You know, in terms of rough starting save stations, I don't know if Hive Gyro... I don't know. That's an unusual one, so you might not have the practice. You hardly ever go there, even when you don't start there. And even when you do go there, you rarely go to the save station. The only situation in which you would is if that's your last Sky Temple key and you just want to save warp back to ship or something. That's a play I've made, like, maybe just once in, like, the hundreds of seeds I've done. Probably about 100, maybe less. Either way. Clyde's got his dark suit again. That's very good. Probably, yeah, I think he's gonna go back. Just take a different route this time. Go to join AWP in Judgment Pit. Fight the Jump Guardian. Oh, good point. One of the devs in chat commenting that the Hive Gyro Chamber isn't really accessible because you do logically need Echo Visor. Or, well, you need to be on the other side of the Echo locked door in order to shoot the Echo locks. I don't exactly know how that's done. I assume it's just a wall that has collision on both sides, but I don't know that for sure. Maybe you could shoot over the wall or something. Okay, Holo Combat Mastery with another Aegon key. So we... No, we only know of 2 Aegon keys, don't we? Okay. Yeah, the game is trying to set us up for an early Amorbus. I'm hoping they find Seekers soon. It'll make going to Energy Controller, Sanctuary Energy Controller more appealing. It would also give them another elevator in the side of Aegon. A light beam would give them access to a 3rd elevator in the back of Aegon. So trivial logic does not account for scan dashing or roll jumping, so they wouldn't have access to Sentinel's path from the Sanctuary Temple. They can't get to the Annihilator door, even if they had an Annihilator, logically speaking. I don't know of a way to soft lock the portal. Oh, maybe he did. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, all you have to do is reload the room. I guess he accidentally bombed the last lens open before bombing the bomb slot, and you're supposed to bomb the bomb slot first. That's unfortunate. He's gonna do it again. Although I think he must have bombed the bomb slot the last time it was through here, and that might stay active. I think it does stay active, in fact. So this should work this time. Yeah, here it goes. There's the cutscene, and here's the other cutscene. That's pretty funny. I keep forgetting that's the thing. Yeah, when you want to save a little bit of time, sometimes you just skip a step and have to reload the room. Oh. Op indeed going back to Mining Station A? He looked up, yes. Thank goodness. Still no beams, huh? No beam in trial tunnel. I assume he checked junction site and didn't get a beam out of that. And then in Judgment Pit, fought the Jump Guardian. Got 1 Aegon key. We could see an early Amorbus. That's definitely a possibility. I don't think we're that close to being forced into an early Amorbus. We're still gonna need another Aegon key. And even when we get another Aegon key, I mean, we'll have to not get something else. Emerald Translator, currently not useful, but will be in the future for sure. When they go to Torvis eventually, they will have access to a bunch more items. I want to say 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 7 with the Dark Torvina as well. 7 items locked by Emerald alone. It's pretty huge. On top of that, Great Temple is going to be locked by is going to have a emerald gate that locks an item in a save station, as well as an elevator. So Emerald actually unlocking quite a bit in this seed potentially. AWP making the very important safety save. In this seed. Safety saves are critical. And 40 minutes then with no energy tanks actually is probably the norm for a random starting location, because typically with a random starting location, the game just has to give you progression items in order to be able to leave the area. And with damage strictness being set to medium, it will either give you dark suit or 2 energy tanks for, well, some Dark World access. A lot of Dark Aegon is actually totally within logic with no E tanks. Nice little instant morph into a spider ball onto the ceiling for AWP. That trick is about as easy as it looks. You just need to get past the little guardrail on the side of the spider tracks, and then morph as you're rising. You don't even necessarily have to still be rising. As long as you're close enough to the spider track and you get the guardrail to block your your morph animation, then it'll instantly morph you, and you'll be instantly close enough to grab onto the spider rail. And it looks like he will get his grapple beam. It's that corner, a little finicky. So the one time I had this coaling chamber required with Varia suit and no E-tanks, I think it took 5 tries to get it, and I was at 1 HP when I got into the safe zone again. So, personally, I think the damage streak 100 for the required damage taken should be 100. AWP getting to another elevator. Just going back to Aegon, I see. Okay. Yeah. Okay, he has 2 Aegon keys. He got the 2 Aegon keys he knew about. He doesn't know where the third one is. That's pretty good news that Amorbus might not be required. He knows that Sand Processing and Dark Samus 1 didn't have anything. He knows that you can't leave Dark Samus 1's room without getting soft-locked, logically speaking. Once you beat Dark Samus 1, you're funneled onto that little short elevator and into the room, which is a dark beam door on the other side. There is a spider track, but it's not actually active. It's only a graphic until after reloading the room, after the fight. That's accounted for in the logic. So that's not their way out. So it's unable to actually get the main reactor item logically. Chat is pointing out neither of them have actually checked the junction site item right next to Jump Guardian's room. The room that's usually before it has an item on a spider ball track, and they do have spider ball. So that's available. That's available. The other two items that are available are in Sanctuary, requiring one of them would have to be Seekers. Pretty sure absolutely one of them has to be Seekers in order for them to be able to escape. Maybe if it's Screw Attack and Annihilator Beam. That is a possibility. They could get Screw Attack and Annihilator Beam in Sanctuary Temple Access and Sync Energy Controller back to back in order to get out. Super Missiles here in Junction Site. That's gotta be our progression. I mean, Seekers could still be back of Sanctuary, but this opens up quite a... No, this opens up 2 more checks. 3 more checks. There's here in Warriors Walk, there's Battleground. 4 more checks. There's the other Battleground and the Flying In cache that they can get because they started with Dark Visor. And then there's Storage C behind bioenergy production in the back of Aegon. As per usual, that Inglet drops nothing. A quirk about the drop system in this game is that it is room-based. Rooms do give certain drops from either crates or enemies. Just a random chance from a drop. And in most rooms, the first enemy will never drop an item. So if you want to farm items, you probably want to kill an enemy, then burn through your ammo, and then kill another enemy. Because the first one just doesn't seem to matter. With some exceptions, of course. There's always exceptions to rules and echoes. Well, Powerbomb is nice, but not really hopeful right now. There's one particular room, communication area in Temple Grounds, that doesn't have drops except from the Dark Troopers in the first layer of the room. And for some reason, they can drop power bombs. And I've been told they can only drop power bombs. But of course, they will only drop power bombs if you have power bombs in your inventory. If you have the ability to use power bombs, I guess. I assume if your power bomb maximum is greater or equal to 1. But since you almost never go through that room in the first layer with power bombs, then you're never going to see power bombs there. You're never going to be able to farm in that room. Here we go. Oh. I saw bioenergy protection and I got excited, but Clyde isn't the one with super missiles. AWP is on his way there now. I'm half expecting... Oh, you know what? Actually... I wonder if someone called me out in chat. If so, I missed it, because you can't actually get to Upper Sanctuary without Dark Beam or Seekers. Well, how about that? You would need Dark Beam. Not bad. Okay. I always forget about that dark door leading to Upper Torvis. The one after the elevator. Clyde learning his lesson, being more patient, making sure he survives the trip. How patient will he be? Patient enough, okay. There it is, Dark Beam in Storage C. Now they can go to Sanctuary and get progression, right? Okay. Also, AWP can actually get the missile tank in Storage D, which is the fastest way to reload main reactor after fighting Dark Simus. So he's probably gonna do that, and that's gonna allow him to see and collect the item in main reactor. In Cache 4 and the start of Dark Aegon as well is open up. Technically, you can check what's in Doomed Entry. That would be a bad idea because, well, I guess it wouldn't be the worst idea because with Dark Beam and Space Jump, you could actually get to the, well, especially with Dark Beam missiles and Space Jump, you can get to the save station, which would allow you to save warp back to the starting location. And this is with one power bomb. Hopefully Dark Simus cooperates with the other one. Roll into her. There you go. Get some damage. Not quite a one-shot. It's a pretty easy setup, where as soon as the fight starts, you immediately morph and then roll left around the pillar, and she'll... I think she always runs into you and throws the shield up as soon as she meets you on the other side. Super missiles are pretty nice against her as well. Pretty quick and easy fight. Nice little introduction fight there. Grapple beam acquired with Clyde. Looks like an interesting item. Oh, JK. It's a dumb item and I hate it. Just a missile tank and main reactor. He's gonna walk back to, I believe, storage B, the dark door, at the start of Pirate Labs. Debating on which way to go. Oh yeah, he's already checked sand processing, that's right. He fought Dark Samus 1 and then reset because it was nothing. Oh, I was very confused for a moment because Clyde's screen is a little dark and he was in Sanctuary, so I was like, why isn't he taking damage in Dark Sanctuary? It's because he's not in Dark Sanctuary. It's just a little bit dimmer than I'm used to. I always crank the brightness up so I could see. With unpowered capture cards, it tends to lower the brightness. Okay. AWP going straight into Doomed Entry, which is fine. He could either reset. Oh, he gets Cobalt. He's not going to reset because he has Cobalt. And he can save warp back into Sanctuary and get one hint. And then progress onward to... Well, he could progress onward to Gyro Chamber, get another hint. If he wants, he can progress onward to Sanctuary Energy Controller, as I've been saying. Okay, he's continuing on to Vanilla Light Beam. That makes sense. So as Chad is discussing, the Cobalt Translator cannot be their current progression. They are supposed to have a way out of the Dark Aether. So they're gonna need Light Beam or Annihilator in order to take the portal back to the Light World. In order to be able to logically keep the Cobalt Translator. I'm guessing since Op came all this way, if in cache 4, or sorry, in cache 1 here is nothing, he might reset. It's an E-tank. He's gonna opt to reset. Okay. So he saved in Pirate Labs, I believe. Was that before or after the Dark Samus? Yeah, he saved before the pirate fight. Or after the Dark Samus fight, rather. I know he went to the save station. I saw him hesitate and then say, "Yeah, he's. I'm going back to the save station anyway." Now that he's at the save station, this is a good opportunity for him to roll, I guess, this way to go to storage B. Doesn't really matter which way. I guess, I don't know, this might be faster because you don't have to wait for the gates to rotate in the room before storage B. The room, 2 rooms before storage B, that. Alright, Clyde has his super missiles in tow. Oh, yeah. I remember he did check Warrior's Walk at least. I think he checked Battleground as well. I'm not entirely sure. But Op is on his way out of Pirate Labs. A little concerning. He's going to check Mineshaft, which I know he's seen a lot of progression in Mineshaft in the past. Absolutely can be seekers in here in order to get access to Mining Station B. I've seen it like 3 times. Annihilator Beam. That's access to Cobalt. Things are looking pretty good for Op. Oof. The call out for Spider Guardian already. Although, to be fair, it would be relatively nice for Lightbeam to be behind Spider Guardian. Or for Lightbeam to be dropped by Spider Guardian, rather. Because Spider Guardian could just have an Aegon key. It can absolutely happen. I forget if Op knows how to get to the Sonic Boom Room with scan dashing. It's a pretty dumb scan dash. It's really tight. So it's not in logic yet. You would need screw attack for that to be in logic. And it, for me at least, in Cache 2 hardly ever has anything. So I usually just don't bother with it. It's really out of the way. Not quite as out of the way as in Cache 1, the vanilla light beam room, but bad enough. Still not going to storage B. Well, it probably won't have anything. What are the odds? Alp is fine. He's going to Sanctuary. He's gonna get his progression. Everything's gonna be fine. I don't know. Dark Samus 1 might actively avoid the power bomb. I'm not sure. Because I think I've seen the Dark Alpha Splinter actively avoid the Sunburst. Diggle tried that the other day. Or yesterday. You basically want to make sure you want to just roll right into Dark Samus to make her put her shield up. And she'll still be vulnerable when her shield is up. It's just that it deflects missiles. It deflects projectiles in general, but only for a short while. She'll still be stuck in place for a good while after the shield drops, and that's generally why power bombs are so effective. She just stays in the blast zone for too long. Clyde at 14 energy has plenty of health. 14 energy means he has 99. That's how math works. 14 plus 100 is 99. Seeing this is just a missile tank, we'll see if he goes to storage B. Op did check in Cache 4. Manages to find Seekers, actually. Yeah, Mining Station B is available. Although, I wouldn't want to check that until I have Light Beam, so I can combine that with Storage A right next door. Clyde... I don't think Clyde checked storage B either. Okay. It is a pretty easy one to forget. You do your loop around Pyro Base and you're like, okay, what did I leave behind? Did I have Boost Ball? Yeah, I had Boost Ball when I got Stand Processing. Check. I reloaded the room and I reloaded main reactor to check the item. Check. I think I scanned the corpse. Pretty sure that was nothing. Check. Never occurs to you to... even you go back to storage C and you're like, okay, I got storage C out of the way. That's checked off. Never occurs to you that you didn't have access to storage B. Because how often do you go there without Dark Beam? Pretty rare. Even in vanilla, you just go out of bounds and go directly to Dark Samus. Unless you're not really good at the game. Unless you're not, like, top tier. Then maybe you'll have to settle for not doing the Sandigger, the secret world to get out of bounds. And you'll just have to go through the normal way. Is that another suit? Mining Station B is looking good. Grapple lasso in calling chamber. Well, you're half right. Right, it took me a moment. This is in logic, because you can just use the boost ball to get on top of this, and then use Dark Beam and Annihilator to get through the portals. So Clyde probably about to get his Seeker missiles. Or... he doesn't need Seekers right now. He can make a trip back right later. No big deal. Also, for some reason, there are 2 fan blades there. I think that's a randomizer thing. It just... the layers are a little goofy. It probably activates 2 layers at once. Crossworld social distance high five, that's right. No, they're in totally different rooms. That's extra social distance. You can never be too safe. I mean, they don't even have energy tanks. They're gonna take all the precautions they can get right now. Yep, and Feeding Pit is now available. And with that light suit, the game will continue loading for AWP and is going to continue any second. It just needs to finish processing. It's kind of a lot to Dark Aegon key. What? Clyde finds a Dark Aegon key. Huh. That's funny. I looked over in the IRC. Okay, it's back. This happens to AWP from time to time. Probably fine. He's fine. Yeah. Just doing some aerobics. There you go. Doing some stretches, and Samus is back on her feet. It's not quite the worst loading time AWP has had on record, so he's used to this. It's funny, after that happened, like while that was going on, I looked over in IRC and I noticed like Clyde had dropped out of the channel. His client had just refreshed. And I was like, wait a minute. That's not an AWP. What's going on here? Yeah, unfortunately, when it comes to Windows updates, there's nothing you could do about it. They'll just update and not tell you about it. So, Clyde's still poking around with his Annihilator Beam. He can logically keep his Cobalt Translator. Wonder what he's gonna do with it. I think Spider is in logic for him. Nice. Okay. So we now have access to temple grounds through that elevator on the side of Aegon. This is one of the few amber gates. One of the 3. I don't believe he can remove the blockade for the shortcut to Wind Chamber Gateway. Pretty sure you absolutely need Light Beam for that. But with super missiles, he can get over here. With Seeker missiles, he can get to his Sky Temple key checks. Interesting. With Light Suit, it's not a problem. Oh, you know what? Lucarius raising a good point. They don't have Violet yet, so they can go to the ship. However, one thing to point out is that they do have more things to check. They can actually go around the Violet gates by dropping down the tunnel. And with Bomb Guardian defeated, they can get an item off of a Dark Missile Trooper. And with bombs in hand, they can get Hive Chamber B, I believe it's called. Then ride up the elevator and go to the rest of Temple Grounds. The main problem is that you definitely want to save at the ship, because if you don't find progression in Temple Grounds, then you'd have a hard time getting out. Yeah, 1 hour and 20 and no E-tanks. So Clyde appears to be going for the Sanctuary Temple now. This is not going to work out for him. Unless, of course, he finds Screw Attack. I guess Screw Attack would actually let him through the rest of Sanctuary. Come to think of it, he already has Annihilator to get through the Annihilator door. Okay, he is going back to try that instant morph again. I wouldn't even bother if I just missed it once. Yeah, he's just passing up on it. What are the odds that a Morbus is going to be required? Wait, does he actually only have... Does he actually have both Aegon keys already? It's a hint for a progressive suit. Opts not to continue on. It's probably wise. Probably wise to give up on this. To just not go to Sanctuary and Control. You could save beforehand. And then just reload if it's nothing. Clyde in a tricky spot. He manages to get the quad down. It's very good. I don't know about this, Clyde. I don't know, man. I don't know. You don't take that much damage through here. He's gonna play extra careful, just in case. But he'll probably be fine, even if he takes a couple hits from the lasers. I'm not sure how much damage they do. I think they are just a one hit, or like they only hit once. Like other enemies, they're not like a constant damage kind of thing. These lasers are, however. He could survive 10 frames in the lasers, though. One chamber gateway, okay. Chica required. Was that quad required as well? Quad, Chica, and Ing Reliquary. Ing Reliquary is not so bad. He actually already has Light Suit. He has Dark Visor and Seekers. He has missiles. He can actually... he has power bombs as well. He can fully, in logic, get to Ing Reliquary right now. Which is an especially good play because Phase on Grounds typically has major items. It's fairly common. More common than a lot of other locations. Like, more common than average, really. Just to throw out a ballpark number, I'd say like 1/5 of seeds will have something in Phase on Grounds. Which is worth considering. Little surprised he's not going directly to Hall of Honor Dead. Okay, it wasn't quad itself, it was... Okay, it was just the Alpha Splinter. That's good. Station access. Okay. Reliquary. Under Temple. Wind Chamber Gateway. Okay. So not quad required necessarily. Quad is a pretty cool fight, though. It's a lengthy fight that people don't want to spend the time on, but I don't hear people complaining about having to fight quad very often. But I'm sure we'll hear plenty of complaining about having to fight Chica today. I believe... I think... well, this is trivial logic. I'm not sure if Echo Visor is logically required for quad in trivial logic. It might be required in no tricks. It might be required in trivial as well. It might be an easy mode thing that could require echoless quad. It's honestly not very hard at all to actually hit the antennas in the quad fight without having to lock on. I guess that would be consistent with having to scan other bosses to be able to lock on, logically. Such as on Grapple Grappler, and probably Chica as well. Well, you don't actually need to target the weak point on Chica to damage it, so maybe not. Ooh, energy tank in Temple Grounds. That's huge. So AWP very much does not want to... Oh, actually, yeah, there's a save station here, so he won't have to reset. Worst case scenario for him, he can just walk back to this save station right here next to Pipe Chamber B and save warp. It would be a big detour, but at this point, it's probably worth it just for an E-tank. Fires the missile a little too far forward. The splash damage for the missile can destroy both of those in one hit, as you can see. And it's taking the time to remove the crate in the middle of an industrial site. Seems pretty unnecessary. It's just an additional cutscene. Could just jump over. Usually the first time you go through here, you have to scan that post to remove the crate. And if you want to save extra time and you have some practice under your belt, you can also stand on top of the crate when you move it so you can get carried to the door. But once you have space jump, it's completely unnecessary. You could just jump straight up to the door and then jump straight over the crate later. Another power bomb expansion, not gonna say no to that. Would prefer an energy tank. And energy transfer module. finally acquired. This is very important. So moving on, we're gonna go into this called demo chamber and get this power bomb locked item here. Just some light ammo. That's pretty nice. Oh, he doesn't even. That's right. He doesn't have light beam, so he's now able to fire a charged annihilator beam finally. Late Temple Grounds is pretty nice because you could clear out just about all of it in one go. He doesn't need to check the key bearer at the top of this room. Good memory on him to know that that's the Sky Temple key and not bother checking. Pretty easy to succumb to muscle memory and just go ahead and get that anyway. Having fought Jump Guardian, he can get both the items in this room right away. One of them twice. I don't think the ship item can be duped. But this one certainly can. Uh-huh. Dark Torvus key. Okay, that's one of the pieces of the puzzle. Yep, this is just one for you right now. Gonna need 2 more up. With Light Suit, he can get Fortress Transport access. But before that, he's gonna check. He's gonna get the Sky Temple key in Wind Chamber Gateway and check what's in Grand Wind Chamber. This way, once he goes towards Fortress Transport, he could just go on through and take the elevator. And we'll find out then where the elevator leads. Oh, is that just ammo? Does he know the scan dash? You might not want to bother with it even if he does know it. Because you could just... He knows Wind Chamber Gateway is just a Sky Temple key, which he only needs to get to unlock the end of the game. So he can just get that on his way to the Sky Temple later. Getting these checks out of the way now. Oh yeah, fun fact, a Charged Annihilator does not open up portals. He's so used to not having Light Beam and having to charge the Annihilator to shoot it. Now that he has Light Beam, he just wastes it because he forgot he had it in the first place. Looks like some kind of visor. Maybe a translator? Is that violet? No. I was way off. It's just light beam ammo. Which is nice. You do tend to want a fair amount of light beam. Light ammo. He's not gonna get the Ink Reliquary item right now. I'm a little surprised by that. He has full access to it right now. Yeah, I'm pretty surprised about that. It's gonna be an out-of-the-way check for later on. He can couple it with Profane Path right now. Oh! Yeah, he does need Light Beam to get through there, doesn't he? Is that... yeah. That's the Light Beam door behind the Seeker door, isn't it? This is pretty good. Going in through the sunburst. That's a nice find. That's gonna help out immediately, basically. So coming in through the Great Temple from this side, the gate's gonna be down, and then it's gonna go back up as soon as the fight triggers. I think it's when the fight triggers that it goes up. He just needs to seeker off these little ingots, these splinters. Get some good splash damage there. A few shots with, I guess, charge beam. That's fine. Oh, right. I was gonna say sunburst would be good. Even though you couldn't use light beam on the splinters, but yeah, you can't use sunburst without light beam. But he's still got power arms. This is fine too. Reducing lag, that's a good trick for dolphin players. Just looking away from particle effects. And there's that Sky Temple key we confused earlier. So it's not locked by quad, it's just right there. One, two. That should be 3 so far, right? Yeah. Another red temple key here. Ing Hive. Wah wah. It's absolutely worthless at this point because they already have Annihilator. So Clyde's not too far behind. He is in Temple Grounds. He is... He didn't get his hints though, did he? You didn't get his Sky Temple hints. Okay. He'll get his energy tank, which at this point is much more important to him, I'm sure. Returning to starting room. I would have preferred to see him check the other elevator and the item. That's a missed opportunity. Although, no. Wrong version of the room. Oh, this is... Oh, it's an ammo station. I thought it was... Right, it's a map station in the light version, which is why it's called map station. Okay, ammo station here. That's a nice refill. Showing more game knowledge than me, obviously. And gets the jump now that he's not in such a rush to get up here. This must feel so much nicer. Clyde finding himself a hint. Opts to dismiss it. It's a pretty good decision. I like that decision. Where are we gonna go now? Up. Okay. Charged Annihilator with some ammo in tow is gonna allow him to get this item. He wants to see what it is first. Looks like he's not interested in it. Now, even though the Charged Annihilator can actually destroy those things, I don't think he's I don't think the logic accounts for that just because the Annihilator beam itself does not give you ammo. And the logic accounts for ammunition to be able to shoot things like Charged Annihilator shots, but it only tracks how much ammo you have based on whether you got light beam and dark beam. And I think it probably also takes into consideration uh, how much spring ammo you're given, because you can change how much ammo you're given when you get light and dark beam. If you could get ammo for getting Annihilator beam. I don't know if that's an option. If that is an option, then that would change things a little bit. A beam. A beam. A beam in Hive Dynamo works. We only have one beam missing. As called earlier in the chat, light beam is guarded by Spider Guardian. Yes, to answer chat, thankfully Bash did make this seed, so we're having quite a thrill ride here. We love to hate it. Yep, Bane Blash. So also noted, lower Torvus, as soon as they have Torvus access, they have access to lower Torvus as well. And that, for the most part, lower Torvus doesn't actually require gravity boost. Only a couple items do. Depending on your loadout. What is going on with that? Looks like the beam is still electrified on the gyro chamber. Fascinating. Hopefully that's just graphical. Yeah, just graphical. Don't worry about it. You're fine up. It's just a little lightning ball. It's like one of those Tesla balls that you just keep on your desk. I think I've seen that once before. I don't know what causes it. It was a long time ago though. I forgot that happens. It's pretty great. So as far as bosses go, Spider Guardian is required, Chica is required. Whoa, that was a very in path that Annihilator beam took. Okay. Nice little cannonball to destroy the quad and its head. I haven't seen it like get pushed up like that before. Usually it goes right through. I guess it was underneath one of the feet. Op going for a tricky scan dash to get over to the platform. He knows it's possible. I've only seen it pulled off once. And even then, I think I was imagining it. Grapple beam in hand, he's able to get his energy controller item. Major upgrade in Accursed Lake. Interesting. Oh, right. Yeah, he didn't have access to Accursed Lake because you do need Light Beam to move the block. So even though you have Dark World access, you don't have Dark World access through that portal. What even could it be? I guess. No, it specifically said major upgrade, so that actually excludes the temple keys. Echo Visor, yeah, that's possible. It could be Screw Attack as well. It could be Gravity Suit or Gravity Boost. Could be Violet. Yeah. I think that's all it could be at this point. To note, there are joke hints that give actual locations, and those will point towards actual major upgrades or keys. However, when it says a major upgrade, it excludes the keys. For even more confusion, there's an option in the Randomizer to shuffle just the major and minor items together. Like, the major items would be among major items, and the minors would be among minors. And the major items also include energy tanks. Op showing off you can actually damage Spider Guardian just right up on top of this ledge. It looks way too far away, but in typical Echoes fashion, it just works. Opting to use a power bomb on this phase instead. So you don't want to use power bombs in vanilla, because that actually kills Spider Guardian outright and doesn't play the death cutscene, so it doesn't actually drop the item. And on top of that, it doesn't destroy the barriers, so you're unable to even leave the room at all. So you definitely don't want to do that in vanilla. But in Randomizer, it's been patched, so it actually just stuns it immediately, instead of requiring 3 bombs. Or, I guess, 4? just excited to see what else Spider Guardian has. It's probably not just a beam. I sort of know why Spider Guardian is often required, but it still makes no sense to me. Effectively, when the game places items, it'll prioritize placing major items, and then it'll also bump up newly unlocked areas ahead of the queue. So it will typically place major items in newly accessible areas. And in the case of Spider Guardian, typically Cobalt is responsible for the high chance of Spider Guardian being required. Because Cobalt unlocks 4 items and 3 of them are behind Spider Guardian. And here we go, the moment of truth. awp82 now has his light beam. At long last, an hour, 52 minutes in and 45 seconds. Not quite Go mode light beam, but pretty darn close to it. Okay, it does manage to hit the trigger for reloading for the respawn point for Terminal Falls. And still only 2 energy tanks, that's right. Dude, how excited will he be to get his 3rd energy tank here? A movement system is in Torvis Bog. Okay. I think Op got that hint as well, right? I had missed that, but someone in chat did mention Screw Attack or Gravity Boost will be in Torvis Bog. But that does include lower Torvis as well. It does, however, distinguish Torvis Bog from Dark Torvis Bog, so we know it's not going to be in the Dark World. However, there are 2 of them missing, so the other one could be in Dark World. Jeez. So Op does not even have logical access across the watch station access. Even with Annihilator Beam, he doesn't have Screw Attack to logically be able to cross that. I'm sure he knows the Scan Dash. But is it really worth it? Probably not. And demonstrating that you can destroy objects on the same frame to get an 80% chance per crate to get a power bomb drop. If you have 0. Well, I know he's averse to the bomb space jump, and a roll jump is basically the same principle. I don't know if he knows the scan dash method to get across watch station access. Either way, it's out of logic, and he knows where two major upgrades are. One's in Accursed Lake, another one's in Torvis Bog. So it's 50-50. It's 50-50 if Torvis Bog has the screw attack, and it's 50-50 if whatchamacallit, Accursed, no, it's not 50-50, it's 25% chance if Accursed Lake has screw attack. I mean, all of Torvis Bog is, to be fair, is it's a big area, so it's probably higher than 50% chance. So I guess the hint, the hint is just a guarantee. Well, it's a 50-50 chance that screw attack is guaranteed in Torvis Bog. At this point, it's probably a very, very high chance because we've cleared pretty much all we can of Sanctuary at this point without screw attack. Echo Visor would unlock the rest of Sanctuary, basically. We've cleared out just about all of Aegon. Cleared out almost all of Temple Grounds. There is one item left in the light thingy, the light transport. Yeah, I think it's technically classified as a thingy. Yeah, the light thingy in Fortress Transport Access has an item as well. So I'm hoping Op will check that, but it looks like he won't. Okay. Fair enough. I wonder where he's going then. He can save the ship. Sure. Oh, right. Of course. Yeah, we were just talking about this. He wants to go to Accursed Lake, get his major upgrade. Yeah, this randomizer is a blast. You can get some real easygoing seeds. Unfortunately for the runners in this race, you can also get some real harsh ones. But that's mainly because of the settings they use. Generally, a random starting location isn't recommended for newer players. Once you get used to it, try it out. It is an experience for sure. If you want to see just how bad random starting location can be, I definitely recommend tuning into checking out the VOD later and seeing the start of the race. Because it was an awful one. light beam for Clyde, finally. 2 hours and 1 minute and 13 seconds. Yep, this was a seed. So there used to be a worse starting location in Dark Torvus, where you would have to fight Boost Guardian without bombs for some reason. But now the randomizer does properly require bombs on easier difficulties to fight Boost Guardian. Which would mean if you don't have bombs, you have to beat it before it goes into liquid form. Or before it comes out of liquid form, rather. Or, well, I mean, there are two different liquid form phases. Before it goes into boost ball mode. Because once it goes into boost ball mode, the only way to knock it out is with a ton of bombs. And Violet Translator here in Accursed Lake gives them access to a bunch of elevators. Almost certainly one of which will take them to an accessible side of Torvus. Yeah, sort of everything's open, but 2 of the elevators will lead to Torvus, either the front or temple side. One of them can lead to the lower Torvus area, which is blocked off by a statue that you have to move from the other side. It's possible, but not recommended for less confident players. You need to try that one out for a while to boost off a spider ball track into a tiny hole above the statue. It's not necessarily hard, it's just real finicky. I'm going straight into this is an especially good elevator to check because this is one of the few, well, this is the only elevator room with an item in it. And it'll also be getting a hint as well. 3 times as good as any other elevator. Nice suit hint. Mining Station A, yeah. Yeah, thanks, game. That would have been really helpful if Op hadn't looked up. Thankfully, he already has light suit. Okay. This is probably a Torvus key? Torvus key 2, okay. So there are 3 keys remaining, 3 red keys remaining. One of them is for Aegon, which Clyde already has. I don't even know where he got that, actually. One of them is an Inghive key, which is completely useless. And one of them is required. Storage B, okay. Oh, he did get that one. Okay. Going quadrant, not exactly what he was hoping for. Yeah, I wouldn't bother. Just go to a different elevator. There are 3 elevators here, and just didn't quite get the one he wanted. So there's Aegon Gate, the other one's Aegon Quadrant. I forget which this one was. Sand Quadrant? Right. Sank Quadrant is a good one. This is an especially good one, because this actually, this will take him towards another elevator, but on the way to that, there's another item. Yeah, Ing Reliquary is also available this, right? And he remembers better than I did. Torvis from Aegon. Yeah, this is a real good find for Clyde. This could be the leg up he needed. So while AWP is about to get another major upgrade, and he already has 4 Sky Temple keys to Clyde's 3. If Clyde finds Screw Attack here, that might put him in go mode fairly shortly. What do we have up here in Path of Root? Well, a hint first of all. Okay, a very useless hint. A missile tank, a very useless missile tank. More importantly, a way forward. Sky Temple Key 3. Ing Reliquary. For some reason, I thought this was the Cursed Lake. I was way off. That was Violet. Okay. Portal Chamber on Clyde's end. We have an energy tank. Yeah, that's a nice thing to put on display. The highly coveted E-tank of the seed. Don't breathe on the glass. You know, that power bomb Clyde laid actually could potentially, I mean, it'll make this easier to traverse for one thing, but it may also reduce a little bit of lag. Ing Hive Key. Okay, he doesn't care about that. So the only key left to find is a Torvis key. Alright, which elevator will this be for AWP? There are two Sanctuary elevators still MIA, as well as 2 Torvis elevators. This item just being a missile tank. Not too exciting. Got another missile tank in whatever the crap, Putrid Alcove, I think. He's opting to grab it. He's a little too close to the wall. Sometimes the bottom of the wall will block the power bomb from actually hitting the debris. He's gonna farm another power bomb. Or just be totally failed by the drop chances. Alright. You know what? I think probably the power bomb might have destroyed one of the caches and left a power bomb behind that he didn't see. That might happen. I don't know. Torvis Cache A coming up. Just another missile tank. Missile expansion. So AWP finding the other side of Sanctuary Fortress. Not really what he wanted to find, but this does get him access to 4 items actually. There's this one right here, just another energy transfer module. Having one already in his pocket, he's gonna forego it. Here we have another missile tank. I hope he's gonna forego it. Yeah. Nobody got time for that. Ooh, what is that on Clyde's end? That looks very shiny. He wants it, and it is indeed his screw attack in Venomous Pond. I've seen it there a few times, come to think of it. Screw attack is huge for Clyde, actually. So he might not even need Violet. Let me think. I think he just needs Sky Temple keys. He just needs to get the hints and go. It'll take him a bit to get there, though. He did get here from Aegon. He's probably going to check this other Torvus elevator, which I believe... I'm forgetting an elevator. One of them can go to Sanctuary entrance. One of them can go to Lower Torvus. There's one elevator remaining. I think it's Temple Grounds somewhere. Oh, right. It's in Torvus Quadrant. Yeah, that's right. So a 1 in 3 chance for Clyde to get right back to his Temple Grounds, which he wouldn't be able to go through because he needs Violet Translator to get that's in Accursed Lake right now. He needs to be on the other side of the gate to get it. AWP is hesitating. This is definitely a moment that Clyde needs. He's gonna go ahead and pick up that last Ying Hive key. It's basically in the way. I hope he doesn't waste his time getting this missile tank. It'll cost like 2 seconds. Okay, he's not. He needs to be saving every bit of time he can right now. So unfortunately, this elevator is not gonna help Clyde in any way. Energy tank, very nice. You know what? He's gonna continue to check items here. He's gonna check Torvus Temple. He's gonna check Torvus Energy Controller. He's gonna go back for Temple Access, which is a minor detour, but still a detour. And I'm hoping he goes right for the elevator and then just bails on the rest of Torvus. But I don't think he will. We'll see. AWP is on the trail. He's sniffed out that elevator he needs. He's on his way to the front of Torvus. It's basically, for AWP, as far as he knows, it's a 50-50 whether this leads to Torvus Quadrant or to... Oh, no, it's not a 50-50. He doesn't know where the side of Torvus goes, right? So it's a 40-60, whether this goes to the Torvus access he needs. He's going to Feeding Pit first, okay. He knows a movement system is in Torvus Bog. No, Clyde. Clyde is going... Oh, right. No, this is just energy controller. Okay. I don't know why. I thought that was lower Torvus. I was just thinking about lower Torvus and I saw him, like, shooting the super missile door and I was like, no. But that's the wrong super missile door. And also, that was a while ago. Okay. He does get his Sky Temple key, though. Right. I'm jumping the gun a little bit here. They're not... Even if Clyde gets his hints, he's not in go mode without the last Torvus key. Which I think is what he's looking for. So he's a smarter man than I in this case. So currently we are on the hunt for that last remaining Dark Torvus key that is required for a Sky Temple key on Chica. Clyde doesn't know this, actually, come to think of it. Clyde doesn't know this. He might think Violet Translator is probably required, or Echo Visor. Or he might just be hoping either of them are required. Because he has everything he needs to do, everything that he needs to deal with Sky Temple. He just needs to figure out what's required to get the keys. Which, though he doesn't know it, he's only one item away from. So this is somewhat good news, actually, for Clyde. Knowing that the Torvus key is still MIA, AWP hasn't found it yet. It could be, he might have just shot right over it right there in Sand Canyon for all we know. But Clyde is full clearing Torvus now, but AWP hasn't been here at all, so he's going to full clear it eventually. Torvus key in Temple Grounds. I forget where. Was it? No, it wasn't in Chamber Gateway. That was a Sky Temple key. The one in the ceiling? Oh, Great Temple. Okay. Yeah, it was in Great Temple, Access B, I believe. Right. Okay, that was actually Violet locked. Okay, so we do need Violet for exactly one temple key. Just some light ammo in Torvus Plaza access. So that's pretty good for Clyde that he's going to find his last Torvus key shortly after finding a cursed lake with the Violet Translator. Yeah, the item is over there. It's just really hard to see. Okay, AWP now in Torvus is hot on Clyde's trail. Well, not that hot on the trail. Clyde's pretty close to full cleared Upper Torvus by now. AWP almost certainly going to do the same. So a fun fact about these sporbs that jump out and try to grab you and shoot acid at you, nobody likes them, and they're gross. Oh, what happened? Clyde just let go of R or something. Or no, he saw what the item was and he's bailing on it. Okay, that makes more sense. He's actually saving time. That's good for Clyde. Sweet. So if Clyde wants to, he could just go straight to Dark Torp's arena now. It looks like he's going the other way. Heading towards... Okay, yeah, he's going to the elevator. Well, he's going to the underside of the temple, at least. Not under temple, but the underside of the Torvus temple. This could either be an elevator play or a lower Torvus play. Oof. Torvus quadrant. Okay. That's Violet locked. Boy, would that be convenient if he had Violet. So I'm not sure if Clyde knows this, but the gate on the other side of the store is amber colored gate in vanilla, but it's actually a violet gate. The developers changed the colors just to encourage you to go through Aegon and get your Amber Translator. So then you would be able to scan the Amber Gate in Great Temple, and then go down the elevator, and then scan the other gate, which they then colored amber. But they didn't change it to an amber gate. It's actually coded as a violet gate instead. The same thing with the Emerald Gate in GFMC Compound is actually a Violet Gate as well. Lower Torvus for Clyde. This doesn't feel too great with just without Gravy Boost. But it is absolutely within logic to clear most of Lower Torvus without it. He just needs Seeker Launcher. He needs Seeker Launcher to actually hit all the targets. Then he needs... Okay. Wow, first try. Good work. So I'll give a round of applause for Seeker Launcher for actually pulling through on this one. So then he's going to need Boost Ball to... well, he's going to need to kill these blogs to activate the Morph Ball Spinner. Then use Boost Ball in order to get to either door, really. He's going to opt to just screw attack over to the bomb slot and move the statue. That will eventually require him to reload the room to reload the blogs in order to activate the spinner. It will, however, get him one item and access to another elevator, which we unfortunately know is not going to help him. Except it will reload the room, so he'll get his blogs back. Sanctuary entrance. So it is a path through. Dang. So he's gonna actually check Sanctuary entrance item. He is able to as well get the map station. Actually, you know what? This isn't so bad. He can actually full clear, well, lower Sanctuary. You get Sanctuary entrance, reactor core, map station, transit station, and main research. So Sanctuary entrance is pretty tricky for newer players to cross with screw attack because it's such a wide gap that you need to space out your screw attack quite a bit. If you try to just do your jumps, like do all 5 jumps as soon as possible, you won't get nearly as much distance because you're not allowing them to travel as far as they can before jumping again. And it's not a set distance you're allowed to go, but a set number of jumps you're allowed to jump. That pirate just taking cover behind some debris. It's a legitimate strategy. Fair play to them. I'm getting across even with the cutscene interruption. Now, in order to get the item in Sanctuary entrance, he is going to need to reload the room after the pirate fight. It advances the layer to be able to activate the cannon to destroy the debris. You only need to go halfway through this tunnel room. There's an unload trigger within the room. Seven shots with Annihilator to take out these flying pirates. Considerably faster than the missiles. AWP about to make quick work of this pirate fight in Torvus Temple. Oh, right, this happens from time to time. The bridge does get destroyed by Dark Samus after beating Spider Guardian. I think it's after collecting the item dropped by Spider Guardian. A lot of triggers are based on collecting the item. It might not be all triggers. I don't know for sure. That's actually really handy. This is one of the rare occasions you actually get to see the key bearer in this room. So for the one instance this tournament, he's actually going to get to check the hive entrance without actually going to the hive. Of course, it wouldn't have been hard to get there because their save station is 3 rooms away, but you'll never have to go there. At this point, if I were in Clyde's shoes, I'd be tempted to get the to open up the mini gyro chamber just to have future access to this side of Sanctuary. I don't know if it's worth it. It probably isn't. In fact, I don't think it is at all. No, because he has screw attack. He can get to the other side of Sanctuary from the top side, which is actually a good point. He has access to the Sky Temple key and Watch Station access, as well as Watch Station itself, and Vault, and Aerial Training Site. There's quite a few items opened up for him right now. Meanwhile, AWP is a few items away from getting his screw attack. We'll see which way he goes first. I usually see people go through the powerbomb door first. He's opting to go through save here and go through Dark Torv's arena first. Wait. Oh. Oh. Right. So the movement system hint in Torvus Bog was actually referring to gravity boost. That just occurred to me. So there is a movement system in Torvus Bog. It's not referring to Dark Torvus Bog. And Screw Attack was in Dark Torvus Bog. So we kind of know where Gravy Boost is now. Somewhere in Lower Torvus. Did it say Dark Torvus? I could have sworn it said Torvus. Alright. Okay, well. To be fair, I can't read, so. Okay, that changes things. So we have no idea where Gravy Boost is. Nothing to boost our mass changes with. Dark Burst. Op hesitated, but he does have to pick up that item in order to leave the room. Okay. So it is also entirely possible for Gravy Boost to be locked behind Gravy Boost, either in Transit Tunnel East or Transit Tunnel South. Which would mean that Gravy Boost isn't required at all. So we don't have to worry about we really don't have to worry about that until Lower Torvis is the last location, last set of locations available. Clyde also finding out that normally emerald colored gate in vanilla is actually also a violet gate. Yeah, it absolutely can be required, and also in Lower Torvis. I believe one of the matches yesterday had it in Under Transit 1. So Clyde is going to clear up a bunch of upper sanctuary. This is pretty good. So he is still ahead of Op in the search for the last Torvis key, even though he doesn't necessarily know he's searching for the last Torvis key. It'll be good if he finds it. He doesn't yet have the accursed lake hint, does he? Does he? Okay. I forget where that was. It was somewhere in Sanctuary, wasn't it? Think energy controller? Okay. I thought maybe it was in main research. These are the dark doors I keep forgetting every time I think about Sanctuary routing. Fully logical access to Watch Station via screw attack. Not a caretaker drone required seed. But also a hint. Maybe a Chica hint? Transport B access. Great Temple. That's really good for Clyde. Probably. He doesn't know how good it is, but that's really good. So once he finds out the Chica is required, he's probably only gonna have that key to find. Yeah, AWP is now... I believe that puts him in go mode. No. It's not go mode. Right. He doesn't... We're still on the hunt for the Torvis key. Let's not jump the gun here. One more key to go. And Clyde does not find it here, but... Missile expansion. I guess he'll pick it up. Opts to boost off the rail for some reason. That he wants to open up this port. Sometimes you can just roll off to the side and maybe cling onto the other lower spider tracks. But that usually just doesn't work. He probably just doesn't want to land on the floor and trigger a new respawn point for the terminal fall. Just wants to immediately go back to the cannon. aerial training site coming up. That's not a temple key. Don't even care what that is. He might care. And up above is a blind check for an energy tank. Nice. Either way, really. You could take this portal right now. You want to check vault right now. So, He hasn't fought Spider Guardian yet, has he? Right, it had light beam. Alright, okay. I thought there was something important there, and yeah, it was light beam. That was 2 hours in, but that was light beam. I know, it's a long seed. Just an energy tank, which would have been nice like 2.5 hours ago, but we're not gonna go ahead and get that one. It's another glass display for Sanctuary this time. In memoriam of all the runners lost at the beginning of the seed. Gonna want to check Cat West, Central Area Transport West. He hasn't checked main research or transit station either, so probably gonna go all the way down here. Right, no echo visor to check Sentinel's path. Okay. So yeah, he's cleared out as much as he can here. Or is about to, rather. Finds out this is just a missile tank. I guess gonna head on over into Aegon. No, he's going back to Lower Torvis. He's going back to Lower Torvis. He doesn't have the hints, correct? Also going for Sanctuary entrance. I wouldn't be surprised to see him just get the item here. So it looks like he's going to be behind Clyde by that one Sanctuary entrance check. They're high-fiving on the elevator. However, Clyde does still need to find temple grounds to get back to Temple Assembly Site to get to Accursed Lake, to get Violet, to get the last Torvis key. And also, it'll be nice to have his Sky Temple hints as well. So these regular blogs, not quite as bad as Alpha Blog, but I still hate them. Takes 2 charge shots. Maybe just one with Dark Beam. It depends whether they're light or dark blogs. I think the dark blogs take 2 charged light beam shots. Citation needed. Yeah, for sure. Clyde's done a real good job of keeping up. Okay, he's AWP is opening that pathway, I guess just for safety in case he wants to go back. I can't think of any reason off the top of my head, but it's 3 hours in, so I'm gonna call this a really good play. Just to be better safe than sorry. I wouldn't have bothered, and then I would have worried later if I should have done that earlier or not. Clyde, considering going through that annihilator door, you don't want to do that. So he has, okay, so he's going through here the vanilla way to open up Under Temple. To open up the vanilla way to vanilla gravy boost and alpha block. And then he's gonna go over light portal, which I'm guessing he'll probably take the light door rather. Probably want a safety save here. Why not? If you find nothing here, you could always just save warp back here. This is a good play. So through the light door is the portal that he has full access to. You just gotta bomb the slot that's above the water and then just drop into the water and go through the portal. And then there's no more water to worry about. He could opt to just actually open Hydrodynamo Station, just to have it open for his escape later on. So 2 more rotations of the spinners here. There you go. That's 1, and that's 2. A very seldom seen vanilla Torvus entry. Op following suit. He's going straight to the light door. This is actually really good for him. This is good routing by him. He knows that the light door leads to a fully accessible portal. So he could just bypass the puzzle entirely. So he is right behind Clyde, with even more equipment in tow. So he's gonna need to grapple across. Clyde needs to go across here, activate the bomb slot, not go through this annihilator door. Well, okay, thankfully he doesn't go through with it. You can actually check that item. No you can't. Can you? I think you can see the item, but not get out? That doesn't sound right. No, you can't see the item. No, you can just activate the first jet, or well, the second jet, and then the camera is blocked off. Ooh. Clyde is leaving. He wants nothing to do with this lower Torvus. Unfortunately, I think at this point, lower Torvus is our answer. The item in the bottom right of the tracker is it's listed as a Dark Temple key, but That's a more general term for all temple keys. So we're instead using it to indicate the energy transfer modules. The energy transfer module is technically an item. It has no function. It once you get the Violet translate, it's, I believe, overwritten in the scan log as well, so it's not even in your scan log. I'm not sure if it's technically part of, I think it's in your inventory at all. It might get overwritten. Oh, interesting. It might get overwritten as soon as you get any translators. I'm not sure. In the past, we've had seeds where cannonball was an item they could collect, which is just a state of morph ball when you're shot out of a kinetic orb cannon. And that can be, that was added into the randomizer as a unique item that functions just the same, and unfortunately it gets removed whenever you're launched out of another cannon into another cannonball cancel pad that just removes it. Also, if you die or reset the game, it'll be removed as well. Doesn't quite get a full hit on Boost Guardian with the Sunburst. Unfortunate. You kind of want to shoot the Sunburst. Well, I don't know for Boost Guardian. It's a bit different because he's not one shot by it. I think he's two shot by it, but there's an aura around the Sunburst that drains enemies' health. So you probably want to shoot to the side of it or shoot at a distance directly in front of it. I'm not sure exactly. And naturally, a red temple key here is Dark Taurus key 3. Does he want to get that? No. Does he have to get it? Absolutely. So getting that item triggers the Alpha Blog fight. There is a way to skip the Alpha Blog fight with a bomb space jump, which he wouldn't do anyway, but more importantly, you can't even do that without gravity boost. And on top of that, the fight is considerably harder without gravity boost. You basically have to face tank and hope that its mouth opens. I don't know why, but it sometimes just won't open and will just take no damage when you shoot. Three for 3 on the mouth opening. Unfortunately, that shot, I guess, was a little too late and didn't quite hit the mouth. I guess it hit behind the mouth. I don't know. That's pretty bad, though. Okay, there's another super missile down. 3 for 4 hits. 3 for 5 hits. He does quite a bit of damage. Unfortunately, even though he has both suit upgrades, AWP still takes the same amount of damage from enemies. The suits only decrease atmospheric damage from the Dark Aether and Ing Claws and Ing Storms. And that's it. Well, I guess the light teleporters as well. No, those don't do damage, actually. They just blind you. I'm thinking of the dark ones, the ones in the dark world that just are electric beams. Those are always damage sources. Jeez, I lost count. I think we're at 3 for 7 or 4 for 7. Switching to dark beam is just good for the last hit. I believe charged dark beam does 150 damage, whereas a super missile does 180 damage, so it's close enough. It also, the ooze that comes off of the impact also does damage, but whether or not the boss is remaining in that ooze is questionable. Gravity boost, right behind. Oh wow, okay. That's unfortunate. I don't think Clyde knows about the bomb space jump either. Well, I'm not sure. If he does know about the bomb space jump, he could skip the alpha block fight entirely. That would be really good for him. So that gravity boost allows him to escape without having to fight Power Bomb Guardian, and that allows him to just leave right away. It goes and go straight for his remaining Sky Temple keys. 3 more to go. So no Echo Visor. We don't have to fight Dark Samus 2. We don't have to fight Quad. We had the ability to fight a Morbus, but we never had to. Clyde, unfortunately, is in Aegon Wastes. I'm hoping he doesn't get baited in. Did we have a... I think we had a hint for a Morbus, didn't we? So he should be safe from that. Expansion, okay. I seem to remember that hint being... Okay. Yeah, there's collision in the middle of this room. And sometimes you hit it, and you just fall down. Yeah, I remember that hint being early on, so I think they both have that hint. Dang. If Clyde just committed to lower Torvis, we would have a real close match. At this point, it's just Ops race to lose now. I don't know why he's fighting Powerbomb Guardian. Oh, Powerbomb Guardian has a key? Oh, yeah. I missed that one. Okay. Okay, so Powerbomb Guardian required after all. Logically, Alpha Blog require... No, that's... not... Wait, yeah, that is true. Alpha Blog also logically required. I think it might be easy difficulty that allows you to escape. Sonic Boom for Clyde. Yeah, well, it was a bad starting location. everything from there was uphill. This has just been that rough a seed. It's actually pretty difficult to get out of the Inghive save station with no dark suit and no E-tanks. That was by far the worst troll in this seed. And then they eventually gave you dark suit, and they held off on E-tanks, but with dark suit in hand, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, it was definitely over 40 minutes before they had their first E-tank. I'm pretty sure. And yeah, it was a real long time before they got their second E-tank. Not long after that, when they got their third, both of both their second and third E-tank were locked by a Spider Guardian. But more importantly, Spider Guardian was also locking Light Beam. So this has been a real doozy. But after the start, they can accomplish anything. Clyde is on his way. He's in Temple Grounds now. You got the hint, right, Clyde? A cursed lake. He's just uncertain which way would be faster. He's gonna go ahead and open this path anyway. He's gonna get a Sky Temple key. That's real good. I think it was considering checking Sky Temple key hints as well. Open up all the paths. Might as well check Grand Wind Chamber while he's here. He's gonna check another elevator. He's gonna check 2 items in GFM. No, he already checked those 2 items in GFMC. As well as I think he already checked. Yeah, he checked the light teleporter as well. Because he came in through that elevator from the other side. Right. Right, that's why Op didn't get that the first time. It was violet locked. Okay. Alright, so he's gonna get his Sky Temple key hints. And his next stop after that is gonna be to save at the ship, probably. And after that is the Cursed Lake. With Plane of Dark Warship in between. AWP on his way to the Chica. This especially hurts Clyde because he was just a few checks away from full clearing Lower Torvis. He would have found that last Torvis key. I guess he could have found Echo Visor as well. We still won't know where that is. Being Reliquary. You can get that now. Under Temple. You can get that now. And Dark Torvus Temple. He cannot get quite yet. Maybe he'll go to Under Temple. That might get him his last Torvus key. But it's kind of a long shot. There are a bunch of items in Lower Torvus. He's still got, I think, five items to collect, I think. 6 items to collect in Lower Torvus. 5 of them in Dark Torvus. Under Temple, okay. So I'm sure he knows Under Temple does not require Gravy Boost. I'm sure he's uncertain whether he'll ever find Gravy Boost, but Op making pretty good use of that Annihilator Beam. It is very effective against Chica. I believe it's neutral damage, but it's still such high DPS. It's 12 damage per hit. I want to say like 60 damage per second. Well, I guess, you know, it might depend on how fast you can match, really. I guess about 60 damage per second sounds about right. Maybe a little less than that, depending on how fast your spam is. The other beams do 15 damage per hit, which makes Dark Beam the higher DPS of the other 2 beams. You could also throw in a missile in between Light Beam and Dark Beam shots. So you could shoot a missile for every 2 Dark Beam shots and just get a free bonus 30 damage. Clyde, unfortunately, not going the right way. It's not where Violet is, man. You're gonna need that. Oh, not quite the right side. You should get this in time. Come on. Oh, he shook it off. Playing it safe and using Annihilator Beam, probably faster than using Dark Beam. It will mean he has to farm on the Dark Phase. You could get 1 charge Light Shot off. You might as well use it immediately. He's gonna wait for the Chicklings to appear and shoot them with Dark Beam and get a ton of light ammo in the process. You know what? On second thought, I think Charge Annihilator would have been a better choice. You have plenty of ammo. Just go ahead and, yeah, burn that Annihilator. Burn that beam ammo. It's fine. Looked like the chicklings were running blocking on the boss there. Taking Chica down real quick. Pretty nice fight when you have this much ammo. Another Sky Temple key for Clyde. So what does Op have left? He's got this Sky Temple key. There's one more. Is it? Oh, it's Watcher Station access? Okay, cool. Clyde already has that one. Clyde needs Under Temple, right? Alpha Blog, Powerbomb Guardian, and Chica. Left for Clyde. Yeah, this was rough. No surprise, this is a 3.5 hour seed. Oh yeah. Wait, Violet Key. Wasn't the Violet Key, Torvis Key? Is there another Violet required key? So you were right. So one Sky Temple key is locked by Violet, but only because it's locked by a Torvis key. So it's directly locking the Torvis key, but indirectly locking up the Sky Temple key. Here goes Clyde, getting his missile tank. The long-awaited missile tank for 120 missiles. Also, he's about to get his Violet Translator. Now that Clyde has 120, he just needs to go and beat Bowser, right? Oh, wrong way there, Annihilator. So apparently there's a way you can get this Sky Temple, well, this flying Incash with just jumping. Without space jump. Without screw attack. I think it doesn't even require a dash in logic. I'm not exactly sure how. It must have something to do with where his flight path is. There's probably some accessible area that it flies to. Yeah, Echo could be locked behind Echo Visor. It could be one of the lower Torvis checks as well. Op going for Sanctuary entrance to get his last temple key. In watch station access. Temple transport Amber. I don't know why the color names in the Great Temple always confuse me. Yeah. Okay, this was Temple Transport C. I thought it was Temple Transport B. B for Amber. But no, it's C for Amber. Oh well. It's A for Violet. No. It's not even A for Violet. It's B for Violet. It's A for Emerald. And C for Amber. Now I know my ABCs. Oh no, having to powerbomb these Zing Smashers. It takes so long. I wonder how far behind they both feel right now. But knowing that the other player had to go through the same seed, can you even feel behind? Like, they only died a few times. With a seed like that, it's really expected. It was the last, oh. No, it's the second Torvis key for Clyde. Where to now? The big question is, will he, if and when Op finishes, will Clyde continue? He doesn't have too much left to check. Just knowing that that you would have to also, once you get the last key, go and fight Chica. I wouldn't blame him for just stopping as soon as he possibly can. You know, even if he wants to go to Lower Torvis, it's a little difficult to route there at this point. He, with the elevator randomizer, you have to remember where all the elevators go, then you have to figure out where the other nearest elevators are to those elevators that go to places. It's very confusing. Yeah, real French vanilla of it. Behind Alpha Blog instead of in front of it. Pretty awful. That's actually worse than vanilla, I think. Well, no. You can fight Powerbomb Guardian from behind, and then you can find Gravy Boost before going through the portal. So he's gotten Violet Translator. And that's pretty much it since the last time he was in Lower Torvus. He gets a hint, but Violet only opens up these elevators and hints. Ollie's... no. No. Okay, so one check you could make, I guess, is Dark Samus 2. You don't need Echo Visor for the fight at all. You don't need Echo Visor to get to Dark Samus 2. You don't need Echo Visor to get the item where vanilla Echo Visor is. You will need it to get out, however. And it's just a big time sink. And if it is, in fact, vanilla Echo Visor, it'll be even worse. Because instead of just getting to reset out of it, oh, thankfully he's just going to Lower Torvus. Yeah, he's going straight to Lower Torvus. This is very good for him. That was a close one. He was real close to that elevator. This is a more item-dense check. It's 1 item for Dark Samus 2, whereas it's still 6 items in Lower Torvus for him. I wonder if you can get the item in... I think you can get the item in dungeon without Gravy Boost, logically. So maybe it's technically 7 items. I haven't seen Gravy Boost in dungeon, but I feel like someone probably has. Oh, okay. Yeah, dark water is different from water, so it makes sense that the game would treat it differently. Okay. Actually, both movement systems were in Dark Torvus Bog. Well, both of the ones they were missing when they got the hint. Grapple Beam and Space Jump also count as movement systems. Well, they also count as major upgrades, rather. Oh, okay. No, it was a movement system hint, wasn't it? Pretty sure it was a movement system. So Clyde is on the right path here. A safety save just in case it's stuck, which at this point I don't... Oh, well, I guess he technically can if he sequence breaks. Well, if he sequence breaks, then he can just sequence break to get back out. I don't know. 3.5 hours, my brain's fried by this point. So he just needs to take this blue door, go through the light door on the left, Finish hesitating. Go on through the door. Okay, there we go. AWP, meanwhile, is pumping Emperor Ing full of Annihilator shots. It's real fast DPS and is doing 12 damage per shot. Almost 60 damage per second, roughly. Alternatively, he could go for... oh, just goes for shotgun light shot. Charge light. That works too. It's pretty good. 150 per charge. He could have gone for super missiles instead, which is 180 per shot. It takes maybe slightly longer to shoot a super missile, but more damage output, faster damage. So Emperor Ing 3, we're gonna have the screw attack fight here. He knows just how low those hitboxes are behind his heels. It is just about, like, just poking out of the ground, basically. Gets one pretty good hit there. It's a third of the way down. I think that was a decent hit. Yeah, it's another third. One more solid screw attack should do it. For the Emperor Ing fight, at least. He should have just dropped down to the ground. It probably would have finished him off. There he goes. That's Emperor Ing down. Now, he does know about the DS4 skill. He knows, in theory, how to do it. I think he's pulled it off before. Clyde. Clyde. Okay, this is smart, actually. He knows this has to be a Torvus key. This is the only red key remaining. But he is going to opt to check a few more items. And it turns out his gravy boost is right here. Op, meanwhile, even if he dies, there is a checkpoint when you beat Emperor Ing 3. But he has light suit and 7 E-tanks, so I'm pretty sure he's not going to die. And he's going for the charged dark beam shot method of skipping Dark Samus 4. So Dark Samus will shoot this hyper beam, and then it'll just do a couple dashes away while invisible. And once it lands, you can shoot a missile to trigger it to throw a shield up, which will freeze it in place, allowing you to get a free shot in. And then it'll dash away again after taking some damage. At which point you can shoot another missile and freeze it in place again with this shield going up. Just rinse and repeat. I'm just using uncharged dark shots. I guess it's easier to hit that way. Alternatively, you could just use multiple... get that missile off. There we go. You could use multiple missiles just to delay the shield going up, because it's kind of on a cooldown. So you can... it'll still detect the missile anywhere in the arena, so you could just have a missile flying off to the side somewhere, and then it'll eventually throw the shield up, which gives you plenty of time to get get a full charge off. Gonna finish it off with screw attack if he's lucky. Oh dude, he could switch. Oh, there he goes, finishing it off with screw attack in style. AWP finished with an SRL time of 3 hours, 31 minutes, and 40 seconds. And Clyde getting his final Torvis key just in time with his gravy boost, finishing off Alpha Blog. He's just got Powerbomb Guardian, Chica, and the final bosses left. That was intense. We'll see if we could get AWP in here for an interview. I'm sure he's wiped out. And he is in the setup booth. And welcome, AWP. Congratulations on surviving Inghive. That was awful, dude. And even after that, you still had a seed to play, which was still tourney level troll.
Yeah.
Jeez. Spider required for light beam. Chica required for a sky key. Alpha block required for a Torvis key.
I'm trying so hard to press that.
Right. Clyde is currently on Powerbomb Guardian right now. He just got his go mode. Turns out at the start of the seed, you were both pretty much even finally getting into Aegon.
I felt like I was behind because I died.
Oh yeah, well, keep in mind, he had to play the seed too. I was wondering, like, could you even feel behind knowing that your opponent had the same seed? It had to be a big mystery.
I figured he could have been like a higher skill level. He could have, like, I don't know, done some out of that. I don't know.
Yeah, a big question mark for sure. Actually, a big thing that cost him, incidentally, like, he got his dark suit right after getting that spider ball, and he looked up in Mining Station A. That took you a bit to find that, but we're real glad you did. Unfortunately, he was on his way to Dark Samus 1 when he took a little too much damage from the lasers, and he hadn't saved.
Oh, he had to start over?
He had to start all the way over.
Damn.
Yeah. Real rough.
That was disgusting. Bash roll this.
Bash, I believe, rolled this. His powers are getting stronger by the day. Dang. But still, on that, you got that DS4 skip as well, finishing off with a nice screw attack in style.
Man, I almost. Lord Torvis was such a mind effort because I was like, I almost like, oh my god, I can't even talk right now. Like, I almost forgot Powerbomb Guardian. Like, I almost just walked away without doing that.
I did forget it.
I was. What else did I forget?
Storage B.
What was that again?
That was an Aegon key. You missed out on that one, thankfully. Amorphous not even required.
Yeah, I knew that early on. I mean, I didn't know for sure, but like,
You had a lot of options, yeah.
I saw the missile and mining plaza, and I saw. Did I see a hint for that? I can't remember.
Eventually, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if it was in Aegon or somewhere else, but you definitely got a hint for that before.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
But
you had a hint before he had all 3 keys.
yeah, I was a little mad that Alpha Block had my third like Torvis key, but I was relieved at the same time. So I was like, if this thing is in Sanctuary, I'm gonna explode. And everything was like so all over the place and just like back and forth for like one thing each time. And oh my god, I can't even put a I can't even put a coherent thought together right now. I'm just glad it's over.
Yeah,
That
real
was
rough for sure.
awful.
I don't know if we'll be getting Clyde in here. We are in a bit of a rush. We have a race starting in about just 10 minutes.
Oh man. Well,
But he did log off of IRC, so he might not join us.
okay. Yeah, he forfeited.
Mm-hmm.
I just looked.
It was just moments ago.
Yeah, where was he again?
He just finished Powerbomb Guardian. Oh, he is
There
joining
it is.
us real quick.
There it is.
And welcome, Clyde. Congratulations on getting out of Hive Entrance twice. That was, we were terrified when we found out that was the starting location. Not nearly as much as you were, I'm sure.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of figured it out the second time I applied, but... Oh, what a seed.
Yes. What an effing seed.
And Clyde, you were actually the first one to dip into Torvis. You were ahead by a screw attack for quite a while, although Op already found his Violet and got his
Yeah, well,
temple key hints.
Violet. There were a couple missteps I made. One of the big ones was the not checking hints early. I meant to check hints early. I meant to just go over and save in the ship, but I didn't have
Okay.
the light beam, so I couldn't get back after I went to the ship. So I was like,
Uh,
I figured I'd just continue on until the next time I swing around there.
okay, that would explain it.
And then after I got a light beam, I should have gone back and went for Violet. The thing is, I remembered the hint that there was something in the lake.
Mm-hmm.
There was a major upgrade in the lake, like when I was already like knee deep searching for Violet. I was like, oh crap, that's where that was, isn't it?
Yeah, that's where it was. You did eventually figure out what the seed actually wanted. Luckily, no Echo Visor. Neither of you went for the Dark Samus 2 bait. That was
Alright.
I
good.
was thinking about it. That was another place where I was like, if it's an area. Oh my god.
What were you looking for?
No,
The last key, the Torvis key.
I figured.
Oh yeah.
I figured the key could have been echo locked. I was desperate.
Oh,
at that
I
point.
see.
I just
Yeah.
any kind of like progression to open everything in the game up, so I could just not have anything blocked off, and I could just go wherever.
Yeah, I was thinking like toward the end there, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take the gamble and go down to Alpha Blog, and if I don't find the gravity boost or the key down there, then I'm kind of just stuck down there. So yeah, I actually thought I thought I had the Torvis key for a while there. Like I didn't realize until I was about to go fight Chica. I looked at my inventory just to make sure, and sure enough, it wasn't there, and I didn't have a hint for it. So.
Yeah, you were so close. You full cleared almost all of Torvis, and then just bailed on half of Lower Torvis. And
oh yeah, because I found a way. Right. So I was like,
yeah,
okay, Sanctuary looks good.
it did, because you had Screw Attack. You had access to just like a lot more items there. That was just unfortunate. Even
I figured I'd come back if I had Gravity Boost and just like go from there.
we were scared of that last part, that you were routing through Sanctuary to get to Lower Torvis again, and we were like, oh no, he's going to Sanctuary. Is this a play on Airy? And we were terrified that maybe Echo would be in Airy, just leading you to even more checks. Luckily, you
Pretty sure Echo
turned
is an
and
area.
went to the elevator.
I can't think of anywhere. Oh, I went to Sanctuary. Yeah, that's right. I was because I was like, okay, what's the fastest way to Torvis? So I went through Sanctuary. So you guys probably you got scared there.
Yeah, I didn't know where the nearest Torvis elevator was. I was just worried because I saw Sanctuary on screen.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure Echo probably was an area, to be honest.
Probably. But yeah, any final words?
Screw that, dude. I'm just I died
Yeah,
early on. Okay.
we
I
feel for
probably
you.
like
Bane
uh
Dash.
that was like
Bane
20 minutes
Dash.
off the time, wasn't it?
What's that?
That was
Yeah,
like
that was a big time loss for sure.
I probably could have won actually if I didn't. Hmm, yeah,
It would have been close
whatever.
for sure. Because
Yeah.
you still had a Chica to fight.
Yeah, I still have Chica. That's right. And that was my next thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I was going to fight Chica before fighting Guardian, but then I realized, oh, I don't have the last key. What the heck?
Yeah, exactly.
Um, so I went up there and I saved, and I was like, okay, well, here goes nothing. I'm gonna go down to Alpha Blog and see if I can't find either the key or the gravity boost, and just so happened I found both. So
In the worst places, that gravity boost location was pretty
absolutely, man.
terrible.
Oh, the light beam is another thing about that seed.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that screwed so much up.
Hey.
Oh, wow. Need to go.
2 hour
By the
light
way,
beam. Beautiful.
yeah. Okay. So interesting thing about light beam, I actually forgot to check the Luminoff hint for what was in the ink cache. So I was like, okay, I can either take a risk and go in there and check anyway, or I can
Mhm.
just dip and then. And I went in there and I looked at it. I was like, okay, well, there's the light beam. May as well just go. So
Nice.
yeah, I was so tempted to fight on Morbus. Like I was like, I had all
Mm-hmm.
because there were like all three Morbus keys were in hints. So I was like, okay, there's got to be something at Morbus. There really has to be something at Morbus if they're giving me all these hints for Morbus keys. So I was
Then
about
you
to
got a
fight
hint that it
Morbus.
wasn't.
Oh no, that was way later. Like I was about
Oh
to fight
yeah,
Morbus.
that's right.
And then I was like, wait, I can go to that dark beam door over there, and I found the secret missiles in there. I was like, okay, I'm getting at
Good call.
because I didn't. Morbus was a light beam.
So
Ugh.
unfortunately, we're gonna have to wrap this up. We got a
Yeah.
Final Fantasy randomizer match coming right up,
Oh,
right
sorry
after
about
the.
that. I
No
might have
problem.
quit when I did, man.
Yeah, good timing.
Yeah, thanks
So
for the race, man.
Okay, yeah. That went a lot longer than I probably thought it would.
for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for racing, and thanks
Yes.
to Z Chaotix for tracking the race
Yeah.
and
Thanks.
all the
Thanks to
staff.
both of you.
It would have been hard once I lost all my stuff.
I mean, we knew where things were. We just kind of left it there for you. But yeah.
Okay. All right, well, see you guys later. See you guys next round.
Yeah.
See you. Echoes of suffering. Remember that.
It is indeed.
See you next match.
See ya.